Welcome back, guys. Today we are at the Labrador Hollow unique area. There's 3 points of interest in this area, this unique area that I want to check out. And first we're going to do the hardest. We're going to do the Jones Hill trail. It takes us up to a scenic view, which you should be able to see, like the parking lot and a pond. Then there's Tinker Falls, which is right over here. And then there's another place that I want to go to. It's the boardwalk, where you can, I believe you can walk out on to like the pond and whatnot. But it's a beautiful day. We're going to be pushing 80 later on this afternoon. Not too bad for the beginning of October. I know it's been a couple weeks since I've been out, but house stuff, buying a house, there's a lot of stuff that comes with it. Anyway, enough about that. Let's find our trail and let's start hiking, because I hear the first bit of this is actually quite steep going uphill, and the bugs are going to be a pain today. So like I said, Tinker Falls is that way. We are doing Jones Hill first, and we are going to go up, and we have a lot of chipmunk friends around here, so, and we are right next to a road, so you will hear some road traffic, but let's get on up this hill. Our trail blazes today are going to be orange. Skyline Trail, west and east, overlook, stay on road. So, okie dokie. You know, one thing I do have to remember is to start taking my time as I climb these steeper ascents. Half the time, I just hoof it and I go. Like I said, I'm 6 foot. I got a fairly long stride. I can usually get there in what seems like no time, but whew. And I have been losing weight. I've been eating better. Recently had some blood work done at the doctor. Everything is normal except for my chloride and my testosterone is a little bit low. So we all know as men that can lead into some issues. Wow, there's lots of chipmunks out today. Lots of them. Hear them scampering in the leaves. All right, let's get up this. Okay, so pardon the breathing, but one of the cool things is they have, well, there's a trail right there. They have a couple flat spots that come off trail, very much like this one, where you can catch your breath, just like I'm going to do. All right. So I did pass a younger couple, and I say younger because they looked younger than me. Could have been older than me. I don't know. Either way, that's neither here nor there. But the gentleman said it was his 3rd time hiking this trail this week, so I'm guessing he's local. But he said there's probably about another 1/4 mile of uphill. He goes in, it goes off to the ridge, and the view is pretty spectacular. So, doesn't take long for my heart rate to come down, come back to normal. So, I'm about ready to hopefully finish this steep part out. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thank you for sticking with me, coming back, commenting, liking. Anybody who's subscribed, you've seen that list in the beginning of the subscribers. I'm going to start putting a small list of subscribers and thanking them just for subscribing to the channel. I appreciate everybody. Man, I hope they get one of these chipmunks on camera. They are literally all over the place. Let's go. Okay, so if you're not careful, orange, orange. I'm guessing it all leads to the same place. It just kind of loops back around, but I'm sticking with all trails. I know, probably not a good idea, but it hasn't completely steered me wrong yet, trail-wise. Mileage has been a bit off, but we're gonna stick with what All Trail says. Man, I am out of shape. One of my favorite things to see is the young kids that come out. I just passed a group of teenagers, easily teenagers, just out here on a hike, checking out the view. They thought they were holding me up because they were a big group. I said, nope, ain't done this in a couple weeks, so I'm a little out of shape. But the cool thing is, none of them were on their phones. Imagine that. Oop, almost tripped over a root there. Anyway, we've reached flat land. Yay. We're only about just over half mile into this mess. And it did say on All Trails that it was half a mile or so of a pretty steep uphill. But anyway, we got more people coming, so we'll shut you off. Must be a home to a fairy. That rock vaguely says keep out. Got a little frog or toad right there. I'm not good at knowing what they are, toads or frogs. I think Miss Mindy said toads have like the lumps or bumps. Look at him go. Come on, buddy, get up there. There we go. That's cool. Kind of really wish people wouldn't do this to trees. Well, we'll sit down for a quick water break. Obviously, just taking the views here. Now remember, there's two more places we're going. At the bottom of this hill, there's Tinker Falls. Then I believe out that way across the pond is a boardwalk. So, a day full of adventures. Can't beat it. Okay, so this is actually a loop, but we're just gonna go the way we came. Again, we got 2 more stops today, and it took me a couple hours to get here. I got a lot of things to do at home. I just wanted to make sure I got out on this beautiful day. I was absolutely free this weekend. I had no gigs this weekend. For those of you who don't know, I run my own entertainment company. I am a DJ. It is nearing the end of wedding season, although bar venues don't close, so those are like a constant thing. Anyway, I'll talk to you at the bottom. By the way, before I leave you there, this trail is 2.1 miles. It's 1 mile there and 1 mile back, basically. Now, if you took the loop, I don't know how long that would be. But anyway, yeah, I'll see you at the bottom. Okay, we made it to the bottom. We are now headed half mile back the way we came to Tinker's Falls. Let's check out this kiosk first. I think I was here some time ago when I was working on my lunch break. There's the boardwalk we're gonna go on. Let's go. Nice and flat, just the way we like it. And I certainly hope folks do come back through and pick up their dog's mess. Now apparently you can actually go behind these waterfalls. You get up to the waterfall, you can walk behind it. There's kind of like a carved out cave. So, but we'll see. The first time I was here, I just stood at the very bottom. There was way too many people up there for me to even want to go up there to get any kind of footage. But again, I was on my lunch break for work, so I didn't have time to do all that. But today, we got time. Man, them little chipmunks are just all over the place. Probably storing up for winter. Not much water, but we'll get up there. We are getting a tad bit closer, my friends. I don't know how much water you can see. There's not much flowing at all. There you go, a little bit. We have reached the top, my friends. A little bit of our landscape here. I'm gonna walk behind the falls. I have to go to the bathroom, and that's just making it worse, to be honest with you. Lots of people carving their names on the rocks, as you can kind of see, all the way down through here. That's the way we came. Could you imagine if this water was raging? That would be so awesome. I've never been behind a waterfall before, y'all. So this is epic. Very, very epic. All right, so if I'm not mistaken, from the viewpoint we were just at, you can actually make a loop to come down this way and go down the way we came up. But this is awesome. I didn't know the first time I was here that you could actually come up behind. There obviously used to be, there's rebar in those, so there must have been like a rope here, or a what do you want to call it? I forgot what to call it. A gate, I guess, to keep people from slipping and falling. Probably be a good idea to put that back up, but at the same time, it's pretty cool without it. So we do have some folks coming up from that way, so, and I plan on going back down around the way I came, so let's give them some room and I'll skedaddle out of here. So again, I'll see you guys at the bottom. All right, my dudes. So that was Tinker Falls. That was pretty cool. I don't think I mentioned before, we're in Truxton, New York. I am not very far from Cortland or Syracuse or Auburn, New York. As a matter of fact, I think Cortland, when you get on the highway, is just like 20 minutes that way. And Truxton is spelled Truxton, if you're ever passing through or ever interested to come here. Again, that's Truxton, New York. So that was pretty cool. Again, the first waterfall I've ever been able to walk behind. It would have been, no, actually, Watkins Glen was the first one. So this would be number 2. So my apologies for fibbing there, or forgetting. Anyway, let's go to the boardwalk. Hopefully we'll see some birds. I'm not a huge fan of birds, but if we see a bald eagle, that would be a 100% bonus in my book. Let's go. Okay, here we are, but that's where we were in part 1. See those folks standing up there? Way up there. And now we're down at that parking lot that you've seen a shot of. So as you can see, there is a huge parking lot. And there is a bit more of a distant view, and we were up there. But let's go find this boardwalk, and I think it's right this way. Hey peeps. Happy Easter. That's awesome. And another thing to know, good information there. Pardon my reflection. And that's what Tinker Falls would look like if there was actually some good water flow. All right, here we are. The leaf-covered boardwalk. This is honestly a pretty well-kept boardwalk. Oh, opening up to the mountains here. That's beautiful. So my friends, I don't know if I told you, this actually is a loop. So we usually go clockwise. How about we go counterclockwise this time? Really not too much to see. There's no water as of right now anyway. They got benches here. And they got little rocks that the kids are decorating. I freaking love when I find these things. I don't ever take them though, although I have left them. And if you see a Travis Walker Experience rock decorated, has some sort of YouTube thing on it, take it home, show me you got it, comment on a video or whatever. That would be awesome. Couple of pretty flowers. I could only assume that possibly during a rainstorm or good rain, this all gets mushy and boggy and maybe even fill up with water. But at the same time, I think we are going to make it out to the water area. All right, we got some water right here. Very swampy. So like I said, we have not had a whole lot of rain the past, I dare say 3 months. I think the last bit of rain, good rain we had was actually back in July. when it wouldn't stop raining for days and days and days and days. Then we were wondering when we were going to get some sunshine. Well, we got sunshine. So much so that everything is dried out. Like, I believe this is all supposed to be like kind of swampy and whatnot, but it's not. And here we are at the viewing area. This is pretty awesome. Somebody out there on their kayak. Seen them dragging it in. You can fish out here. You can hunt and trap out here. You have to read the rules and look at the map of certain areas. Wow. All right, well, that about sums up this adventure, my friends. I appreciate you guys watching. Nothing too crazy. That first little over half mile was rough on the Jones Hill. But I appreciate you sticking around, hanging out with me, breathing heavy with me. We're going to finish this boardwalk out. Again, it's only half mile, but y'all please stay safe, stay healthy, and y'all please be good to each other. And we'll see you next time. Take care, guys.